Have you ever met someone who was absolutely 100% sure they were right, and they were completely embarrassingly wrong? And the worst part? They had no idea. They were smiling, they were confident, they were thriving. Meanwhile, the actual experts in the room were sitting there quietly second-guessing themselves. There's a name for that. And once you know it, you'll start seeing it everywhere.
By the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why overconfident people exist and why you might actually be one of them without realizing it. We'll break down the psychology, look at some wild real-world examples, and I'll give you a practical way to check where you actually stand. No jargon, no lectures, just one of the most fascinating discoveries in all of modern psychology. Stay with me. This one's going to change how you see people, including yourself.
Back in 1999, a man named MacArthur Wheeler walked into two banks in Pittsburgh and robbed them in broad daylight without a mask or disguise. He got caught the same day. When police showed him the security footage, he was genuinely shocked. Why? Because he had rubbed lemon juice on his face. He believed it would make him invisible to cameras. He'd read somewhere that lemon juice is used as invisible ink, so he figured, why not? Now, here's the wild part. He wasn't mentally ill. He just didn't know what he didn't know. Two psychologists, David Dunning and Dunning-Kruger, read that story, and it sparked one of the most famous studies in psychology. What they found was mind-blowing. The less people know about something, the more confident they tend to feel about it. And the more they actually know, the more uncertain they become. Imagine a graph. On the left side, zero knowledge, zero experience. On the right, true mastery. Now watch what happens to confidence as you move across that line. At first, when you know almost nothing, your confidence shoots straight up. You've just learned a little bit, enough to feel like you get it. This peak right here has an unofficial name, the peak of Mount Stupid. Then something happens. You learn more. You start to realize how complex the topic actually is. Your confidence crashes hard. This is called the Valley of Despair, and it's where most people quit. It feels like failure, but it's actually progress. Then, slowly, with real experience and honest reflection, confidence climbs back up. This time on solid ground. That's the plateau of sustainability, and that's where actual experts live.
So why does this happen? Is it arrogance? Is it stupidity? Actually, no. Your brain is doing exactly what it was designed to do. When you learn something new, your brain builds a mental model, a shortcut, and it feels complete because you don't yet know what's missing from it. Dunning and Kruger called this a double burden. You're not just bad at something, you're also too unskilled to realize you're bad at it. It's like trying to proofread in a language you don't speak. You'd have no idea what you were missing. Think about your first week of driving. Terrifying? Or did you feel like you had it figured out? Most new drivers overestimate their ability. Experienced drivers know every near miss they've ever had, and they drive more carefully because of it.
Here's the uncomfortable part. Don't skip this. Dunning and Kruger's original study found that the effect doesn't just happen to people who aren't smart. It happens to all of us in the areas where we have a little knowledge, but not deep expertise. In fact, there's a cruel irony. People who learn about this bias often immediately think, oh yeah, I know a bunch of people like that. The brain shifts the spotlight outward, away from itself. That move? That's the Dunning-Kruger effect happening in real time, right now, to the people watching this video. The researchers found that experts, on the other hand, often underestimate their abilities. They assume things that are obvious to them
are obvious to everyone. That's the other side of the curve, and it has a name too, the imposter syndrome connection. True skill breeds self-doubt. Fake skill breeds false certainty. This isn't just an interesting brain fact. The Dunning-Kruger effect shows up everywhere. In politics, where people with loud opinions often have the least nuanced understanding. In workplaces, where the least experienced person sometimes talks the most in meetings. In health, where someone reads 3 articles and suddenly questions decades of medical research. And here's why that's dangerous. Confident people get believed. They speak first. They speak louder. In group decisions, the most overconfident voice often wins, not the most informed one. But here's the flip side, and this is hopeful. The study also showed that when low-skilled people were trained and given feedback, their self-assessments got dramatically more accurate. Awareness is the cure. Learning is the cure. Humility is the cure. So here's what Dunning and Kruger gave us. Not a reason to look down on people, not permission to think you figured it all out. What they gave us is a mirror. The goal isn't to become the person who never feels confident. It's to become the person who earns their confidence, who knows that the more you learn, the more you realize how much there is still to learn, and who finds that exciting instead of terrifying. The smartest people in every room, they're not the loudest. They're the ones who say, "I might be wrong. Tell me more." That single phrase, that's the antidote to the Dunning-Kruger effect, and it's available to every single one of us, right now, for free. Let's bring it home. The Dunning-Kruger effect is a cognitive bias where people with limited knowledge overestimate how much they know. The less you know, the more confident you feel. The more you know, the more uncertain you become. And that uncertainty is actually the mark of real expertise. It happens to everyone, in every field, every day. The cure is curiosity, honest feedback, and staying just a little bit humble. If this video made you think about something or someone, hit that like button. It genuinely helps more people find this. And if you want to keep exploring ideas like this, psychology, decision-making, how the brain actually works, subscribe. I drop a new video every week, and every single one is designed to give you something useful you can actually use. There's a video right over there about cognitive biases that goes perfectly with this one. I'll see you in the next one.